The Santika Pub Tragedy, New Year's Eve 2009. Do you still remember New Year's Eve 2009? That night, while you were celebrating with your loved ones, hundreds of others went out to celebrate, but never made it home again. On December 31st, 2008, more than 1,000 people gathered at Santika Pub, a luxurious nightclub located on Ekamai Soi Sukhumvit 63 in Bangkok, Thailand. The atmosphere was electric, the place filled with laughter, music, and flashing lights as everyone counted down to welcome the new year, 2009. The night's theme was called Goodbye Santika because the club was planning to close for renovation and move to a new location after New Year's Eve. But no one knew that the word goodbye glowing on the stage that night would become the final farewell for dozens of souls who would never see another sunrise. As the clock struck midnight, January 1st, 2009, the crowd began shouting the countdown. 10, 9, 8. Then came the sound of fireworks and pyrotechnics exploding from the stage. In the next instant, sparks from the fireworks hit the foam ceiling, a highly flammable material used for soundproofing. The flames caught fast, spreading from one corner of the stage to the entire roof within seconds. Smoke filled the air. Screams replaced laughter. People rushed toward the main exit, but there was only one open door. Other exits, the bathroom door, the back stairs, were locked. Some people were burned alive trying to escape. Others collapsed from suffocation, just a few meters from safety. The entire Inferno lasted only 15 minutes, but by the time the fire was out, 67 people were dead, and over 200 were injured. Among the dead were musicians, artists, and celebrities. Their bodies burned beyond recognition, requiring DNA tests to identify. Days later, the ruins of Santika Pub became a memorial. Mourners gathered outside, leaving flowers, wreaths, and candles in remembrance. The blackened walls and melted steel beams stood as a haunting reminder how just one spark of human negligence could turn a night of joy into a night of death. And tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that comes from deep inside those ruins, a story from the men who went in to clear the wreckage and discovered something no one ever wanted to see. Have you ever been to the site of a massive fire? Some say it's silent, some say it's cold, but for me, that night inside the burned out shell of the pub, I swear I could still hear people screaming for their lives. My name is Arm. I work for a private demolition company in Bangkok. We handle all kinds of jobs, old buildings, hotels, even fire-damaged structures. But there was one site I'll never forget. The job to demolish the ruins of Santika Pub. It was about 6 months after the tragedy. My boss called me one morning and said, "Arm, go check the Santika site. They've cleared it legally now. We can start demolition." The area was still cordoned off with metal fences and yellow tape. The smell of burned chemicals hung in the air, not faint, but sharp, like the fire had happened just yesterday. Santika Pub used to be one of the most luxurious nightclubs in Bangkok, a place where celebrities, musicians, and high society guests gathered every weekend. But after that night, it became nothing more than a charred graveyard. The reports said 67 people died, but when I walked inside and saw the place with my own eyes, I believed there were more. We found melted high heels fused to the floor, a phone half melted into steel, and what looked like bone fragments stuck to a ceiling beam. Our team that night had 5 people: me, Nop, Ton, Lim, and our boss, Uncle Chart. At first, it was just another demolition job. We set up lights, checked the beams, and prepared to cut through the steel frames. Then, we started hearing noises, soft, strange noises like footsteps above us, even though the second floor had already collapsed. Then, the sound of glass bottles rolling. Nop laughed nervously. Maybe some of them don't know they're dead yet. We all laughed, but it wasn't funny anymore. Later that night, while we were taking a smoke break outside, a cold wind blew from inside the ruins, and suddenly, the burnt smell, which had faded, came back strong, fresh, almost alive. Uncle Chart frowned. Weird. It's been half a year. The smell shouldn't be this strong. Ton froze and whispered, "Do you smell that?" Like burnt flesh. Before anyone could respond, a woman's laughter echoed from deep inside the building. Soft, melodic, like the voice of a singer. Then, thud. Something fell from the ceiling. We shone our flashlights and found a microphone, half melted, lying right where the band used to perform. The next night, things got worse. Napop said he kept hearing people counting down behind him whenever he faced away from the stage. 10, 9, 8. When he turned around, silence. Lim swore he saw a woman with long hair sitting on the staircase to the second floor. But when he walked closer, she vanished. Only a pair of melted heels remained, stuck to the floor. And then came Ton's incident. He had gone behind the stage to clear metal debris. Minutes later, he came running out, crying, trembling, repeating the same words over and over. They don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. A few days later, I found that same burnt phone fused to a steel column. It still had a memory card. I handed it to the police. That night, I dreamt about what was inside it. In my dream, someone was filming inside the club. People laughing, dancing, music blaring. The camera turned toward the stage. Then the fireworks burst. Flames, screams. The footage shook violently before cutting to black. I woke up around 3 a.m., heart pounding. But what terrified me wasn't the dream. It was the sound right next to my ear, a whisper. 10, 9, 8. I turned on the lights. No one was there. The next morning, Uncle Chart suspended work for a day, but that night, he told us about a dream he had. He saw dozens of people standing inside the pub, covered in soot, faces burned beyond recognition. Some were missing limbs. They all spoke in unison. "Open the door for us." The following day, police came again, asking us to clear debris around the back exit that had been locked the night of the fire. When we opened it, we found 3 bodies still trapped behind the door, their hands pushed outward, as if they had died trying to force it open. Uncle Chart didn't say a word. He just bowed and whispered, "We're sorry. We didn't mean to disturb you." A few nights later, I went back alone to collect tools we'd left behind. As I walked past the stage, I heard faint music playing. "Goodbye Paradise." I turned and saw an orange glow flicker across the stage. Not fire, more like hundreds of tiny candles lighting up all at once. In their glow, I saw people standing there. The singer, the guitarist, the dancers. All of them motionless, staring at me through the haze of black smoke. One figure stepped forward and whispered, "We're still waiting for someone to say goodbye." Then the light vanished. Everything went dark. I ran out into the street, fell to my knees, shaking. The company canceled the demolition. Every worker quit. No one dared go back. That night, Uncle Chart drove home alone. His car crashed into a power pole. He died instantly. Police said he probably fell asleep at the wheel, but rescue workers reported something strange. His arms were covered in burn marks, even though his car had never caught fire. Inside the vehicle, the radio was still playing. "Goodbye Paradise." The Santika site was later sealed off permanently. Developers tried to buy the land to build a condominium, but workers reported seeing silhouettes standing by the old entrance and hearing countdowns echo through the air every New Year's Eve. 10, 9, 8. Some even saw a flash of orange light on the rooftop, followed by the chilling scream, "Open the door." The ashes of Santika Pub may have been erased from Bangkok's skyline, but for those who were there, the countdown still echoes in their memories. No one knows what those lost souls are waiting for. Maybe they still don't know that the new year has already passed. The Santika Pub tragedy isn't just a story of fire and loss. It's a lesson about the fatal cost of human negligence, and it's one that Thailand will never forget.